Okay. Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah. Welcome. My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show on a Friday, baby. On a Friday. Give it up for my people. Yes. The sound is up. My people are up. I'm up. Let's roll. I want to say what's up to my people on Facebook and Twitter. Come on through. Hit the like button on the YouTube channel because that's where it counts for the money, man. Come on over to YouTube, man. Stop sneaking into the movie theater. Be a part of the community. We got a community brewing over here on YouTube. That's what it is. That's where we talk back. And you also can get featured on the channel. So that's where you want to go. Buck Bewley is my moderator. He's over here on YouTube. Thank you, Buck, for being here moderating. My brother. Thank you for doing what you do, Buck, man. I appreciate you. And I want to say what's up to all the people that support the channel, my Tim Black VIPs, man. Thank you for being VIPs. Very important people. Thank you for what you do. Thanks for contributing to the show. Shout out to my people, James Sumner. Thank you, James. Thank you, Black Mamba. Thank you. Oh, Bill Brummer. Thanks, Bill. It's so good to have people that's got my back here in these streets, fam. Revelator. Thank you, Revelator. And the whole crew, man. All you guys are coming through doing what you do. What up? Elizabeth Looney. Appreciate you. Look, guys. Yvonne. Thank you. I appreciate you, Yvonne. And Michelle Bell. And my people coming through. Thank you, Josie Justice. Yo, give it up for my people, man. These are the people that keep the lights on for the Tim Black Show, man. Yeah. It's dope. You guys are amazing. Thanks, guys. We've had quite a couple of days here. Yeah, we've had quite a couple of days, fam, where couple videos took off, man. It's kind of amazing. You put the work in, and sometimes it comes back, sometimes it don't. You don't put the work in for it to come back, but when it does, it's sweet. So, what's up, people? We got a lot going on, man. We've been covering everything. Look, if you're new to the channel, let me tell you what we do. Okay, the Tim Black Show. We cover U.S. politics, breaking news, and Black culture. I try to get that all into every show. I've done a little bit of comedy work, and it just bit me. about 5 years ago, and I stayed in it. So I'm still, but this is not a comedy show, but I try to inject humor into the show. We are politically not a part of either party. So we have the power to be in the control and the freedom to say whatever we want about anything. Okay? And the only thing I fight for is freedom of speech and power to the people. Freedom of speech and power to the people, that go hand in hand. Because whenever you speaking up for the people, you're going to need to have freedom of speech. Because they don't want that. They don't want, neither side really wants you. No sides. The corporate side does not want us talking for working class. When I say working class, I mean working class, struggling class, people that didn't grow up with a trust account. People that got to bust their butts. People that live paycheck to paycheck. People that sometimes got to dig into the little tray and see how much change they got for gas. That don't even work nowadays. But if you're looking in that tray for some change to get gas, you need to, you short. But anyway, that's where I come from. I come from catching the bus. I come from walking to work. I come from doing what you got to do to get by. I come from I don't know what Kamala was talking about. I come from people that shopped at the thrift store. That's where I come from. All right. I come from hardworking folks living in the inner city, then moving to the suburbs, kinda. Whew, that was something. So anyway, if you relate to that, and I look, you can, I can do different things. I've been to places. I've been around the country doing shows and stuff, but I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to never change who I really am because that's who I am. I'm independent media, and independent media, we're in the lap of luxury. So if you can relate to that type of upbringing where you ain't had nothing handed to you, you know what I'm saying, and everything you got, you had to earn the hard way. That's what this show is, man. I want to give it up to all my people that are survivors, that are tough, okay, tough, who are resilient, who know what it is to get knocked down and get back up, man. Thank y'all for being here, yo. Thank y'all for being here. Somebody said change for the laundry, man. That was the worst, bro. Trying to get quarters is like, woo! And then when they went to like tokens, that was worse because you can't use the tokens nowhere. So I hate tokens. And that kind of works in a lot of ways about the tokens, don't it? Because tokens ain't good for us at all, are they? I don't rock with that tokenism BS. Yo, fam, I'm going to get the banner up, man. My bad, the banner. I should have ran the banner. Look, guys, we got a goal, and that goal, it's obtainable, right? I try to get at least 700 likes per show. It's really hard on Fridays because people have lives. Yeah, some people choose to go out the house. Maybe some of them do a date night, and it don't consist of watching the Tim Black show, at least not always. So I understand that. So I still like to shoot for 600. Maybe we get to 600. To help us out. Now, look, when I say I want likes, it's not because I'm a narcissist going, I need likes to feel good about myself. Nah, man, my babies love me, man. You know what I'm saying? I got love. I need likes for this damn YouTube algorithm that don't love me. See, the more likes you get, the more YouTube is sending a signal that this is a show that other people might want to see. They might not like it when they see it, but if you don't hit the like button, no one gets to find out. So they may reject me. Let them make an informed decision. So hit the like button and let people know about the show. If you can't support the show financially, likes help. That's something, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. All right. Tonight's title of the show was Kamala's team deflects blame while Bernie spills the truth. Bernie, a wild boy, man. Senator Bernie Sanders. Wow. All right, we're going to get into this, man. Are we good? Where is everybody? Where's everybody, man? Everybody engaged? We good? We good to go? I think we're doing it. What? Arlene Chambers is in the house. Nigel's in the house. Kat Negrita's in the house. I see my people coming through. Henry. What's up, Henry? What's up, Emerson? Sharon Brown is back. Kelly M is in the house. MP Candy's in the house. I see you. Megs, Enlighten, S-Chat, John Hill. Brian Crosby's back. Suspense music. Michelle Bell. Cute Mallory. Uli. Uli, baby. Winter Warlock. What's up, Winter? Josie Justice. I want to give a little love. Marty Ma. What's up, Marty? What's up, Laura? You know, people say, Tim Black, I'm watching the afterplay. You spend so much time shouting out people. Man, look, we got to be grateful for our people, man. We got to show our people some love. If you was in this comment section, it might lift your spirits today to hear me say, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You may have had a hard day. So that's how I look at things. Look, I'm not like some of these people on YouTube, man. Some of these people with platforms. I'm you. I ain't above nobody. These my people. Without them, we ain't got no damn show. What's up, man? What's going on? How you doing? All right, Palmer Boys, what's going on? All right, let's rock. So that's why we do what we do. Wraith, I see you back, Wraith. What's up, fam? Thank you. Thank you, Wraith. What's going on, family? See, that's all it is, man. I guess people just, Calvin. What's up, Calvin? People not used to people acting like real people. You know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, they be going places, people be acting above them. I don't do that. Nah. I'm still that same kid, man. Same chubby kid, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make it. That's all. All right, y'all, check this out, man. Shout out to my people from the DMV. You know what I'm saying? Marble sauce, blue crabs. We're trying to get some blue crabs tomorrow, for real, for real. It's warm enough. We can still get crabs in Raleigh, y'all. So, yeah, let's do that. All right, my bad. Let's go. Let's go. Senator Bernie Sanders made a conversation. He put out a piece of, he put out a critique of the Democratic Party. It was not accepted. It was not warmly received. You know what I'm saying? People got pissed off. They don't want to hear Bernie Sanders speak no truth. No. They don't want to hear the truth, man. Because the Democratic Party wants to sit back and sulk and complain and cry in their donor money. Oh, we didn't win. Well, we got money, though, but we didn't win. It really is pathetic what's happening, fam. I think all of them are on some type of suicide watch. Check it out.
There's no point in saying good morning, because it certainly is not one.
You know, I get it. You know, it's not good. But you know what? You live to fight another day, Nance. Now, once you sit down somewhere and give somebody else a shot at being corrupt and driving the car in the ditch for a while, won't you give it a break. Let someone else take the wheel.
You gotta see me that one.
My girl just lost a day ago. Like, damn.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Yeah, you know, they don't love you when you're down, baby. This is not your friends. This is show business. So yeah, she lost. See ya. I don't know what people thought was gonna happen. They erasing that joint quick, fast. She may still be modeling for it.
And as a journalist, I hear you about girding ourselves for this moment. As a human, I deleted Twitter today as an act of self-preservation.
This is how lame they are, Johnson. They think that does something. I deleted my Twitter. See, these are the same people that get pissed off at you and they try to hurt your feelings by saying, I'm unsubscribing. These Democrats are a bunch of Karens, man. They make Democrats, look, I know some Democrats that aren't Karens, but there's a lot of Democrats that are Karens. Look at this. Her thing is, I'm going to get off Twitter to preserve myself. Rich as hell. Made all the money, lying to people on a daily basis, gaslighting people about Trump. It's going to bring back slavery. He's going to sell us out to China. He's got a man crush on Putin, and then he's Hitler. They've been selling that set for at least a year. And that didn't work. It wasn't adequate enough to scare people to vote for policies that weren't working for them. Okay? And now her way to deal with that is not to be a part of the change. It's not to fix anything. It's to get away from criticism. Yeah, it's to get away from hearing the truth. And people say, Tim, what can the Democrats do to fix it? Accepting why you lost might be a good idea. And see if they run.
As a human, I deleted Twitter today as an act of self-preservation.
I think if this campaign is reducible to one moment, we're in a 65% wrong track country. The country wants something different. And she's asked, as so often the case in a friendly audience on The View, how would you be different than Biden? It's the one question that you exist to answer. All right? That is it. That's the money question. That's the one you want. That's the one that everybody wants to know the answer to. And you freeze. You literally freeze and say, well, I can't think of anything. And once you get in it, so we said 65% want something different. We are just not going to give in to them, but maybe the odiousness of Trump combined with the Dobbs decision, we can overcome it. Well, we didn't overcome it. But when we go back and history unearths this, it's going to be right there on The View. And I think her name was Sunny Houston or whatever.
Folks, look, James Carville, man, I disagree with some things he says, and some things he be spot on like a mug, man. Bullseye. Bullseye. And I believe this is why Sunny is so upset. She's part of what destroyed Kamala. But Sunny, it's not your fault, man. Kamala is just grossly inadequate as a candidate. She was grossly unprepared for this moment. And that's because when people hand you stuff, you ain't got to work out. Yeah, check this out, guys. Look, as much as I want a six-pack, if I woke up tomorrow with a six-pack, it'd be gone in 2 months. Because I'm not eating right. I ain't up running. I'm up here doing this all day, right? I don't have a personal trainer. I don't got my diet clean. So it would go back. I would go back. I'd get a big stomach again. I try to cover it. But look, here's the thing. This is why I point that out. Not to make this point. You gave Kamala Harris the VP slot. She didn't earn it. You gave Kamala Harris the Democratic nomination. She didn't earn that. You can't give her the presidency. So she loses it all. She can't take it to the next level because she didn't have to earn it. So she didn't get her reps up. So Sunny Houston asked Kamala the question, and in front of the whole entire world, it showed that Kamala wasn't doing sit-ups, she wasn't eating clean, and she did not have a regimen. Now, I played this yesterday, but I'm going to keep playing it because if I had to boil down to one thing, just like James Carville said, I've said this before. If you watch this show, you know this to me was a dagger for anybody who was on the fence who heard it.
That's the question. And that's the most devastating answer you could imagine.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact. Yeah. Listen, I plan on having a Republican in my cabinet. You asked.
See? I don't know why that switched up so quick. Was that how it switched? I don't remember. But yeah. 66% of Americans said we were on the wrong track. And when she had an opportunity to speak to it and say, yeah, there's a couple things I would do differently. Joe Biden is an amazing person, an amazing leader, and I learned so much from him, but we're not the same person, and there's a couple of things I do. Number one, you gotta have that list, baby. When 60%, over almost 70%, when 66% of Americans say, we going the wrong way, you gotta be able to say, hey, well, I would take a left, or I would take a right, or I would bunker you. Something, you don't say, I think we should just keep going the way we're going. I just keep going the way we go. That doesn't work anywhere. It wouldn't work anywhere if you were in a bad relationship with somebody, you met a new woman, you're talking to her, you're saying, hey, I had this bad relationship I was in, and things just didn't work out, and she was like person, she never listened to me, she wouldn't hear me out, she'd get loud, she embarrassed me in public, just annoying, but everything, you know what I'm saying? We had problems, just couldn't work it out. And she'd say, yeah, I'd do the same thing. You get up so quick, you get arm rash trying to get up from that table. You get knee rash getting up from that table. You might dislocate your hip. See? That's what Kamala did. And instead of people in the Democratic Party embracing it and recognizing, hey, that probably was a funky question, funky answer. And as much as I criticize Sunny Hostin, and I do, and I will continue to criticize her, that ain't her fault that Kamala did not have an answer for that. Sunny thought, of course, this is a softball question. Anybody competent is going to have an answer for this. Like, there is no way she can't answer this. And she couldn't answer it. Because she didn't have anything. Because she really does not have a real plan. So when people say, oh, the Democrats, they were looking out for you, they had all this stuff they were going to do. When I hear Roland complaining about Bernie Sanders critiquing the Democratic Party, what about this, Roland? What about this, Roland? If 66% of the country, if they say, hey, we don't like the way the country's going, how could you win an election when you don't have a new vision? When you won't say, hey, I'm going to separate myself from the things they don't want. Instead, the elitists who think they're smarter, they think they're more worthy, they think they're better than you, and they think if you disagree with them, something's wrong with you. Roland needs to be calling that out. Instead, he wants to call out Bernie Sanders for saying this is a party that does not, well, hell, why am I telling you? Let's go to this. Okay. Damn it. Where's my Bernie Sanders thing? Yeah. I got a clip here about it. Let's see. Dem consultants.
Particularly the media ecosystem they've created.
Not that one, I'm sorry. Leave the petty. We're still here. Scott Jennings. Here we go. Senator Sanders. Now, this is the one I want. Now, Senator Sanders critiqued the Democratic Party. He did so because they needed to be critiqued. And I want to take just a moment first because I want you to understand what was said, okay? Here's what was said. This is why Roland and everybody else is so upset with Bernie Sanders. But here it is, okay? And I'm going to put it on the screen. Bernie Sanders released a statement, guys. He said this. He said, today released the following statement. It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class, has abandoned them. The Democratic Party has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it's Latino and Black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually what? I can't see that there. Lower now than they were 50 years ago. Listen to that. American workers are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago, adjusted for inflation, right? So you cannot be a person who wants to be taken seriously and say that you seriously care about what's going on with your party if you want to address these things. If you cannot say you really want votes if you're not up on what people are going through. Okay. Then he goes on to say, today, despite an explosion in technology and worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents. And many of them worry that artificial intelligence and robotics will make a bad situation even worse. Folks, today, despite spending far more per capita than other countries, we remain the only wealthy country not to guarantee health care. Here he goes with his greatest hits. Not to guarantee health care to us as a human right. And we pay, by far, the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We alone among major countries cannot even guarantee paid family and medical leave. This is what Americans are thinking. They may not be thinking it, they may not articulate it this way, but when you say life is hard, you're talking about things in your life. You're talking about what you're going through. We talk about prices are too high. These are the expenses that they have. And the money not adding up, the wages not increasing, the standard of living going down. These are people's jobs going away, AI coming in, them not being in AI. What are jobs for people that are just, high school or a year of community college or 2 years of community college? I got a year and 2 years of community college, and I worked on computers. Computers update every year. If I wanted to go back to that, all the work I'd have to do to get back into computer field. You got to constantly be going to school for that to stay in the computer field. Anyway, so today, despite strong opposition from majority of Americans, we continue to spend billions funding extremists like Netanyahu, government's all-out war against the Palestinian people, which has led to the horrific humanitarian disaster of mass malnutrition, and the starvation of thousands of children. Will the big money interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are expressing? Do they have any ideas as to how we can take on the increasingly powerful as the oligarchy, which has so much economic and political power? Probably not. In the coming weeks and months, those of us concerned about grassroots democracy, economic justice, need to have some very serious political discussions. Stay tuned. So that was his statement, guys. And all I'm saying, look. What did he say that was wrong? Yeah, Roland, what did he say that was wrong? People that are criticizing Bernie, what did he say that was wrong? He said, basically, people being left behind in their economy. They're being left behind. Their dreams are going away. They no longer have the dream of buying a house. And the young people coming up that unprecedented numbers voted for Trump, that is crazy. They voted Republican. The Democratic Party, that's on them. And why they do that? Because they're afraid for their future. They're afraid the direction the country's going. They can't articulate really what Bernie said that was incorrect. They just said Bernie shouldn't say it because Bernie's a senator and he helped Biden. Now, I agree. That's true. Look, guys, I was a person who supported Bernie years ago, 2016. I supported him. And I also supported him in 2020 for a while. I switched. I had to leave Bernie alone for these types of reasons. That don't make Bernie wrong, though. It just means Bernie didn't go far enough for me. He wasn't going far enough standing up for black people. That's what it was. But Bernie's right about this. I don't have to agree with everything he says to agree with this. And this is one of the reasons why I liked him to begin with. Not on everything, but he was talking about real people stuff. He was talking about really what people are going through, what regular folks deal with, and what excites them, what scares them, what their struggles are. He wasn't on some pronouns and bathrooms and We got to be more polite and we got to be politically correct and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, funding wars and not helping poor people. Meanwhile, not giving us a way out of mass incarceration, like not giving us a black hate crime bill. He failed me on a couple of things, but moreover, more of the working class, hurting class, people struggling, he always talked about money. See, when he talked about money, I listened, because if I can't get you to respect me, I can't worry about that. I got to worry about if I got money to respect myself. I got to make sure I got money to keep my family indoors. I got to make sure economically I'm solvent and I'm stable so I can provide a home for my grandbabies. I got to make sure we good. And so that's what Bernie's always been on, economics. So now they're chastising Bernie. They're calling him out. They're saying Bernie's wrong. Now, some are saying he's wrong. Some are agreeing with him. I have a hard time disagreeing with him because he's right. I saw a clip of Roland Martin. I can't play it because he's petty. You play his content, he tries to strike your channel. Roland Martin was yelling at a woman on his channel who's a repeat person, a friend of the show. But because she disagreed with him, because she agrees with Bernie, yeah, working class people were basically left out of the Kamala campaign. She had that speech where she brought up her mother and middle class or whatever. But family, when people walked away from listening to Kamala, it was about reproductive rights, which was actually abortion rights. That's what she really was talking about. It was about abortion and some crap about saving democracy. Nobody wants to save something they don't have. We don't have a damn democracy anyway. We got a bunch of rich people that run the rest of this crap. Most people figure that out by now. And those who don't figure it out don't have a name for it. They don't call it oligarchy. They just know poor people get screwed. That's what they know. So, meanwhile, Trump was talking about the border. He was talking about money. He was talking about jobs. He was talking about things that people paid attention to. These are things everybody cares about, not just women who are within a certain age who might not want to be as responsible or whatever, or sexual or whatever. It wasn't on that. Basic stuff. Everybody, no matter who you are, you got to be concerned about living indoors. You got to be concerned about economics. And those who have the luxury of not having to care about the high prices of goods and services, those people live with their parents, or those people are elites, or they are people who are just well off. Fine. Guess what? When 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, do the math. Whose message is actually going to carry the day? It's not rocket science, man. It's kind of basic. Basic. If people's money's hurting, if their pockets are hurting, they ain't hearing nothing else. They don't have the luxury to hear anything else. And the people that aren't hurting, if they're just still not certain, if they're unsure, they're going to go with the money anyway because you don't know what's around the corner. Remember, this ain't just about people whose pockets are hurting to the point where they're desperate. What about the people that are doing a little better than that, right? But they don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. They need to save up. They need to make some investments. They need to protect the future because it don't look so stable. So you also get those people. See, the Democrats have not been thinking that far ahead. Hit the like button if any of this makes sense to you. I'm not saying Bernie's beyond criticism. I criticize him for still being a Democrat. Frankly, I do. Because all the stuff they did to Bernie, I got a problem with it. How could you go back to them and help them and campaign with them? But if he wasn't there, he wouldn't be able to say this. And if somebody else said it, they probably would ignore it. But they can't because Bernie at one time had such a following that when he speaks, it makes Roland scream and holler. It makes Roland mad. And that's good. Anything that makes the chattering class, black shills and spokesmodels for the Democratic Party, Anything that makes them upset and feel uncomfortable, I like it. I like it. So I like what Bernie Sanders did yesterday. I hope he keeps on doing it. Keep on sticking it to him. Keep on being a thorn in their side, Bernie. Ain't nobody perfect, and I don't have to agree with everything, but I agree with this. I agree with this. Now, I want to move to another clip where they start talking about it, because this is the talk of the town. Everybody's having this conversation. Everybody's like, yo, what's going on with Bernie? What's this mean for the Democrats? What's the Democrats going to do? We got Democrats pretending like they're going to clean up their act. Yeah, sort of like my 14-year-old son, you know. Clean the room. He'll clean up one day, and then you got to keep reminding him to do it. That's the Democratic Party, but Democrats wouldn't even clean it up one day, though. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else got kids? And you got to keep telling them the same thing over and over again for it to sink in. Well, Trump was like going to get the belt. No, Tim, no belts. Yeah, I don't hit anymore. Not anymore. But now, listen what I'm saying here. Listen what I'm saying. Hit the like button, and let's take a look at what the Democrats are saying now. Because some of them are trying to get it, but they're afraid. They like that one slave who got a book, and they're like, uh-oh, Master gonna beat us if we speak out of turn. That's how they sound now. We got Democrats that want knowledge, that want to speak truth, but they're afraid. And Bernie's giving them the license to tell the truth.
Senator Bernie Sanders, who easily won his re-election bid on Tuesday, is now criticizing the Democratic Party and its leadership in the wake of Donald Trump's resounding win and Republican gains across the country. Sanders, an independent who caucuses with Democrats, released a statement yesterday that reads in part this: "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change. And they're right." Joining us now, one of our stalwarts, senior NBC News national politics reporter Jonathan Allen. John, thanks again for joining us this morning. So let's talk about Senator Sanders' criticism there. How did the Democrats take these working class voters, including voters of color, for granted? And talk to us about what the Trump campaign sees as his appeal to that same group.
It's a great question, Jonathan. I mean, first of all, I think Sanders is largely right. Obviously the numbers show that he's right. On the other hand, he was leading Joe Biden's agenda from the Senate. He was writing budgets. It's an odd person to make the criticism that Democrats abandoned the working class, because he was right there at every step of the way. In terms of what they're going to need to do to get back working class voters, particularly the voters of color that they lost, I mean, I think they have to start from what is it that those voters actually want. Not what is it that the politicians want that they can sell to those voters, but what is it that those voters want? If you look at the two campaigns, you had the most Trump voters said their biggest issue was the economy. Second most was immigration. For Harris voters, it was democracy and abortion. The two candidates were talking about completely different things. And to Bernie Sanders' point, in most elections, the candidate that's winning on the economy is the one that is winning the election.
Bam! It ain't rocket science, guys. It's like it's always going to be. We live in a capitalistic society where money counts. Hell, man, there's some of y'all who won't drive across town and see a family member because it costs too much money for gas. It's some of y'all who are saying, "Hey, look, we ain't gonna have no Christmas this year. How about we just, you keep your money, I keep my money, and we just, call it even." That's economics, man. That's reality of what people are going through. I'm the only person that ever did that. I'm the only person that had to say, "Look, baby, Mrs. Black got me one year too. I remember that. She got me good. I had already got her stuff." She was like, "Hey, baby, what if we just, skip Christmas this year?" Like, "Hey, I already got your stuff." She got to be good. But that was years ago. But anyway, that's the economic situation that people find themselves in, man. That's real talk. You don't think that trumps this stuff about orange man evil? Man, I ain't got to like you. I ain't got to have a beer with Trump or any president. In fact, folks, be real. You more likely to get hit by a bolt of lightning while listening to some Al Green while you driving in a convertible GTO buck ass naked before you actually have a beer with a president. So we ain't stop this, I gotta like somebody. I think people having this argument trying to defend, you ain't gotta like Trump. Policy. How will it impact your life? How will this help you live indoors, help you raise your kids, protect your family, build your community? What's going to be better for you? And all rhetoric aside, all bad things, all sound bites taken out of context by corporate media don't change who's better for that. And no amount of, I'm speaking and feeling good and she's empowered. Oh, she's empowered and she's going to break the glass ceiling. No amount of that is going to put food on your table. I'm disappointed that there are some people, you know who you are, and some of you know some people like this. It may not be you, but you know people like this. They seemed a lot more concerned with symbolism than they're concerned with actual real lifeism. I'm talking about rentism, mortgageism, baby need a new pair of shoesism. I'm talking about electric billism. I don't know about you, but true, I'll let your bill don't play. Ain't nobody, look, we can't be like Pepco, listen, we're kind of short, but hey, go Kamala. You know what I'm saying? So, click. Because nobody wants to hear that you can't pay bills. No one's gonna listen to you. And this good feeling that you have will not translate to clearing up any of your debt or keeping you indoors. You can't go down to the tenants association. You can't go down to court and avoid that eviction notice because Kamala got a new job. It'd be a black woman on the judge who will tell you your ass got 30 days. Look over her glasses just like this and she'll say 30 days. Boom. So what are we really talking about, folks? What are we really talking about? I think some people are not living in reality with us. That's what it is. They're not living in reality with us, and they are confused. They are confused about what really matters to real people. All right? Hit the like button if any of this makes sense to you. If you agree with it, if you disagree, look. If you agree, give me a 1. If you disagree, give me a 0. It's okay to disagree. Okay? I don't have nothing against you. I think you're wrong, and I'm gonna prove you wrong. If you riding, still riding, if you still butthurt, if you sleeping on the couch, fellas, turn this up. If you sleeping on the couch, because your woman is mad you ain't vote for Kamala, cut this up. Yeah, man, cut this up because she need to hear me talk to her on the Tonight Show is for her. Go get her, don't drag because you might call the cops. But turn it up and say, baby, I really need you to hear Tim Black because he about to tell you some stuff. That's for the fellas. Now for the ladies, if you, how can I say it? If you got a man that's making you sleep on the couch because you voted for Trump, or you did not vote for Kamala because you could have voted for Dr. Cornel West, Dr. Stein, or Claudia De La Cruz, or you could have wrote in, Rosie Perez. I don't know. You could have wrote in Janet Jackson just to make D.L. Hughley mad. But if you are sleeping on the couch because your husband's upset with you about not voting for Kamala Harris, you need a new husband. That's what you need. I was gonna tell you. You need to go ahead and get back out there. Hurry up and leave. I'm just saying, man, what kind of guy, what kind of... All right, anyway. Tell Tim Walz I said change his tampon. All right, now let's keep going, guys. See, here's the problem, guys. We have people in the Democratic Party. This is why they lost. They lost because they think they are right. Here goes some Democrats that get it. You might not want to hear from me, hear from them.
Again on polling.
There's also like an original sin here, which is I think that
Going to be a huge examination again on polling.
there's also like an original sin here, which is I think that there was an underestimation of Donald Trump or an assumption that he would be seen as inherently unelectable because of the legal problems, because of January 6th. And when you talk to Democrats, particularly in the post-midterms moment when Biden was consolidating kind of support around the party and in his reelection, the reason they would dismiss concerns about his age or the administration's unpopularity or inflation always seemed to turn back to the fact that they thought Republicans were lining up behind someone who America could not get behind. It felt like their get-out-of-jail-free card. That assumption was never supported by the data, and that is an assumption that has brought them to this point. It's the reason why they did not have a plan B before the crisis of the first debate. And so some of that kind of haughtiness and just belief that Donald Trump could not speak to the change that folks wanted was a story they told themselves, and it's really come back to haunt them.
That's it, Johnson. See, that brother gets it. He understands. Democrats thought if they just called Trump a felon enough times that Americans be like too ashamed to vote for him. Yeah, that's what they thought. They thought if they could demonize him enough that would change something. Problem is, it didn't. People more concerned with their life than concerned with what went on in Trump's life. Yeah, that whole Stormy Daniels thing, having a one-night stand with somebody 30 years ago and giving them $30,000 not to talk about it. I'm sorry, it just wasn't a game changer. Oh, and the books, he kept the numbers, the records, and you said he had some fees. He put the wrong column. He didn't put it in the, and no one gave a damn. That didn't, and all those counts of things which really added up to, on the wrist, like, come on, Johnson. What are we really talking about? And they said you saw it. You saw everybody in the media, all corporate media across the board. It seemed like all of them were in sync saying, he's a felon. He's a felon. I'm going to prosecute the case. They think tank that. Now, Kamala didn't come up with that herself, man. That's something they poll tested in their bubble. They didn't go talk to us and find out what we thought about it. They didn't go find out what Latinos thought about it. They didn't find out what white people thought about it. You know they asked no black people. But if they did, they asked a bunch of yes black people, like Bakari Sellers. What do you think, Bakari? Whatever you think. Whatever works. Whatever you're going to keep the money coming, right? You're going to keep the money coming. Okay, well, yeah, I agree. I agree with whatever you want to do. And that's how most of them went. Because if you ask a regular person, do you care more about Trump's legal problems than you own money problems? That's an easy question. It's not even debatable. But for them, they couldn't figure it out. It was like, I don't know, programming one of Elon Musk's rockets. They couldn't do it. All right, so let's so we end up here. So here goes a Dem consultant that's supposed to know stuff. And it's just further proof that the Democratic Party is not ready really to understand anything. This Dem consultant says, aha, I know how we could fix what happened. Us losing in 49 places. Well, Trump improved in 49 states plus the District of Columbia, my place of birth. He went up in on all these states. He got more votes. The way they want to fix it is this.
A good one. It's a negative one. It's a particularly the media ecosystem it's not a good one. It's a negative one. It's a radicalization funnel. But what they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. But
I can't speak to Jordan Peterson. Joe Rogan was a Democrat for a very long time. The reason why you do not have a feminist version of Joe Rogan or a Tim Black is because there are no men that men want to be like, who don't want to sleep with other men, who would watch it. The fact that you think you can make Tim Walz into a thing just by giving him a platform proves you don't know what you're talking about. You're an overpaid hack. This is the blind leading the blind. If you're leading them, there's no wonder why they're in the ditch. When we got consultants like this, the Democrats are giving money to, because they can use a bunch of words and it don't make sense because it's faulty advice. There is no equivalent to what I'm doing right here. Not in a feminist package. I don't even know what that is. These shows run by progressives, they don't speak to the issues of real working class people. They run from that stuff. It's true, real people's problems are kryptonite to them because it doesn't stand up to the smell test. They don't talk about shopping at thrift stores. They don't talk about goodwill hunting. They don't talk about getting it out the dirt. They don't talk about barely making ends meet. They don't talk about trying to get over the hump. They're foreign to that. So there is not going to be an equivalent to Club Shay Shay or, well, that's another thing. We got too many entities, I feel, in the Black community that are stuck on the Democratic Party system, or they're stuck on the Trump system, or trying to be conservative, trying to be a part of that to find money. I believe there's opportunity elsewhere. But back to this guy's point, which was not a good point at all, but it proves my point. They don't know what they're talking about, son. They think you can just add water and produce someone who has influence. See, they don't want to change. Their thinking is wrong. Their ideas are wrong. Wrong as in people don't like them. They don't agree with you. People don't agree with you. People still like strong people. Most women still like strong men. When there's a noise outside my house, I check on it. My wife likes that. Most women do, still. Regardless of what the feminist movement has been selling black women recognize that. This guy doesn't understand that. I don't know who sex on the noise in his house. Or maybe his wife, or maybe his husband. I don't know. But in my house, I check on it. And my kids know it too, okay? My kids know it. When there's a sound, Pop got that. Dad's got that. Dad's gonna do the dad, you good? Dad. That's this feminist thing that y'all on. So no, there's no equivalent of that. There's a rule, it's an old rule. You want to say it's patriarchy, whatever. Once upon a time, they said that for a guy to be successful in media, or maybe not media, maybe it was Hollywood. Anyway, they said you had to be the type of guy other guys wanted to be and the type of guy women wanted to be with. You can't be that and be kissing women's butts and trying to be what some people say they want, but in reality, not what they really want. Nobody wants you to be an ass. Nobody wants you to be domineering. Nobody wants you to be, to talk with your hands. That's not what we're talking about. The Democratic Party is on some neuter men stuff, empower women stuff that they are rejecting. Women don't need you to empower them to be powerful. They are who they are. They're already powerful. My wife is powerful already. There ain't nothing you can do that's gonna make my wife feel more empowered. Kamala becoming president will not make my wife sit taller in her seat. She's already sitting taller in her seat as it is. We're a team. And the Democratic Party wants to reverse the team so that it resembles their ideology. And the team is where the team is. It's what it is. So this is the Democrats. This is how they want to lead. And this is why they are doomed to fail. Because that's not where people are. My wife can change a tire if she has to. But I'm here, so why would she do it? That doesn't make her weak. That doesn't make me a chauvinist. That makes us a team, Goofy. And if the Democrats don't understand these basic concepts, then they're doomed to fail because they don't understand the nuclear family. They don't understand how we operate. They don't understand where we're going. They are lost. Give me a like if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I get it. Maybe we just disagree. That's fine. I'm cool with disagreeing. But I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. This is what the Democratic Party is on. This is why they have a warped view of the world. He just sat there and said, we need a feminist version of Joe Rogan. The guy is a fighter, a WWE guy. He hosted a show where people ate bull testicles. And he wants a feminist version of that. And everybody at the table agreed with him like that made sense. No, it doesn't. He wouldn't go the other way. He wouldn't be like, we need women that, I don't know. Forget it. Hit the like button, guys. I got more receipts, man. This don't make sense. I mean, it makes sense if you want to lose. If you want to fail, it makes sense. And like I said, I got no problems with them failing. Continue to fail. Senator Nina Turner tried to talk to the Democratic Party. And Nina Turner is another one of those people, man. God bless her, man. God bless Senator Nina Turner for trying to stick with a party that ain't trying to stick with her. You know? And I know what it is. It's the people, right? It's easy for me to say, screw them Democrats, because I'm not in those Democrats. And that's not what my life is built on. And there's people in her community in Ohio that she loves and she cares about those people. And she has an organization where they try to help people directly. Here she is trying to talk to people about Jamie Harrison is the DNC chair, and he don't get it. He disagrees with Bernie that money, economics, where people's lives are, where they are in life, what's going on, what's impacting them financially, what their fears are. Their fears are not that Trump had a relationship with Stormy Daniels. Their fears are not Trump didn't put something in the right column or something. That's not their fear. They don't go to bed thinking about that. But they do go to bed thinking about where my job going and will my job be here next month? Do I have the skills to maintain? Will we be able to live indoors? Will we be able to pay these bills? How we gonna keep mama? How we gonna keep mama in the home? What we're gonna do with her? Are we gonna be able to give her around the clock treatment? How are we gonna do all this? The kids gotta go to school, and do we have the money for the shoes? And my son's feet keep growing. Man, your feet keep growing. Size 13 and a half. What the hell? Is that my son? Like, these are real people's problems. And the attorney tries to speak to him here, and Jamie Harrison says, "Oh, Bernie's just crazy. He's kooky. He's out of his tree."
And on the day after, being beat mercilessly, should not be going at it with a sitting U.S. senator who, by the way, caucuses with the Democrats. He's wrong on this. He needs to sit back and take stock of what just happened and why we lost. It is the Democratic Party's fault because it did not connect with the pain that the majority of Americans were feeling. Not only did they dismiss that pain, they titled it Bidenomics and told folks to go kick rocks. The economy is not as bad as you think it is. Your bread is not as high as you think it is. Your gas is not as high as you think it is. And so to see Chairman Harrison conduct himself like this after losing to former President Donald J. Trump, both the popular vote and the Electoral College, is just really wild to me.
Yeah, it's wild. And thank you, Senator Nina Turner, for saying it. And of course, they're going to attack you for saying the truth. Because they're all in their feelings, so they don't want to win. They don't want to win. They want to be in their feelings. They don't want you to say the truth. They don't want to fix the problem. Good. Unlike Nina Turner, I'm good with it. We need more parties. We need more choices. Because I can't see a world where I would choose a Democrat at this point. Not the Democratic Party in its current form. I don't know. Everybody, I'd have to clean house. I'd have to Frank the Tank them. I have to clean house of the whole Democratic Party. I start with the media because the media misleads people. That's why all these people are upset about Kamala losing. Because of the lies the media did. They propped her up to begin with. She was a horrible candidate. She had no shot to begin with. Internal polling showed that. But they kept lying to people, telling them that she was doing well when she wasn't. So that's the first place I'd start. Since the Democratic Party and the corporate media are so intertwined, they need to start by getting some better people, some real truth tellers. But you'll never do that because they'd rather be in the bubble because corruption pays. At the end of this, there's money behind it. That's why the Democrats suck so bad, because money. You don't think they hear? You don't think they watch? You don't think they know what we're putting down? You don't think they haven't heard the truth? They heard. They know you want them to clean their room. They're just making money. They're just being paid not to.
This was, Philippe, I understand what you've been saying all morning. Don't overread. But this was sweeping in, the popular vote.
No, I'm not saying don't overread. I'm saying try to narrow the factors and in some, orderly way unpack what happened. So let's just say I'm wrong about what I said earlier, that inflation could have been hunky-dory and we would have lost about these things. Either way, here's the problem. I'm not concerned right now what the right thinks about the Democratic Party. I'm concerned about what I think about the Democratic Party. I don't like to echo the congressmen, all three of them. I don't like the fact that a small portion of our party is pretty much dictating where we are. That they are pretty much, we are being branded as the most extreme of us. It is not only politically problematic, as we just saw, because none of this stuff helped the other day. Without a doubt, it's a problem. But we need to take stock of why we are being held hostage to the far left. No one should be and wants to be kowtowing to the extremes of their own parties. That just shouldn't, to the extent that majority should rule, the majority of Democrats don't agree with the things that we are being tagged with. Now, how that works.
Take through a couple of those things.
I think Democrats believe in common sense stuff more than you'd realize. I mean, it's not like any of us sit at home and don't talk to anyone. Most Democrats I know think there's a huge problem at the border. Most Democrats I know think, frankly, that males at birth shouldn't play in women's sports and vice versa. Now,
do most Democrats think you need to be funding all these wars? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So some of the things, yeah, maybe you don't believe that we need to have the open borders. I don't think anybody believed that, but I think there was a reason why Biden decided to roll back all Trump's executive orders that had a clamp on the border situation. There's a reason why Biden did that. You think he did it for votes? He was already in. Why'd he do it? Why'd he wait until it was almost time to run for re-election to put the clamp back on? Are we gonna act like we don't understand what's going on at all? So no, I don't agree with this guy, and I don't think the far left is running the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party likes the virtual signal because that's what they got. A bunch of elitists who think it's better to appear to be better people. Meanwhile, they bomb poor people in other countries, bomb women, men, and children to oblivion, blow up hospitals and schools for money, and send money to people to be able to continue that bombing. Or they fund a war that's totally unwinnable in Ukraine. More money spent on Ukraine than spent here on our own vets. And then they make that okay. That was Democrats once upon a time. That's something Republicans would do. So I wouldn't say it's a left or right thing. I say it's a corrupt thing. The money for the bombs and stuff, there's kickbacks that come. Who are they buying the bombs from? You give them the money, they buy the bombs from us. So the military-industrial complex, so you're not willing to go all the way, are you? You're not truly willing to say the real stuff. Okay? And at the end of the day, average Americans sitting home going, hey, I got problems here. Where's this internet access that you said you spent $3 trillion on this infrastructure? Why didn't that shit work when we had a hurricane? When Hurricane Helene blew through? Why did Elon have to get Starlink going that you guys even want to use? What was that about? Yeah, I know you tell me Elon's a horrible guy, but he had a solution. You guys didn't want it to prove a point that you're better than him, that he's not worthy. It's stupid. Meanwhile, we got people that don't have internet access. And I don't care how you slice it. If it's an election time and you don't have a good sense to go dump money when you have a natural disaster, even the idea, that $750 idea that people, that's what they were getting up front from FEMA, you thought that was okay? When we have migrants who illegally enter the country, getting thousands of dollars a month to stay while they stay in hotels for free, and we know this is happening. It's not a secret. It's open. It's out there. You don't think that's going to be a problem? And it's an election year, and you do that? I mean, come on, like, what rocket science do you need to know? And you say that's a left or a right thing? It ain't a left or a right thing. There's a reason for it. There's got to be a reason for it, but I know that at the end of the day, the reason is not because you care about American citizens. It's not because you care about bread and butter issues of the average person that does not have a trust account, that does not have $200,000 in the bank liquid ready to go, like who doesn't have all the stuff that your talking heads have. Remember, guys, all the corporate media people that you watch on these shows are millionaires. If they woke up tomorrow with your money, they'd be like D.L. Hughley. They get in the car, in the garage, cut it on, and roll down the windows. Okay? Let's be clear about that. All these people that tell you you're wrong and you're not worthy, you're not good enough, and that you're mean, that you follow Hitler, all this stuff because you did not vote for Kamala Harris, hey, those people are all rich. And the tax breaks they keep saying Trump gonna give the rich people, guess who got them? Them. And did they come back and give you the money from the tax breaks they got? They didn't. And by the way, Trump's tax breaks, he gave tax breaks to everybody. Everybody got tax breaks under Trump. The rich did get a little bit more, though. I got to keep it a buck. But they truncate the conversation. They end it. They don't say the whole thing. All right, guys, hit the like button because we're going to keep going. I got more receipts, man. Hit the like button. I'd like us to get to like 600. If we could do that on a Friday, that would be amazing. What's not amazing is the lies and the gaslighting that they continue to do. Bernie wasn't wrong. He's right. Bread and butter issues carry today. It's like, what? What person doesn't know money? I mean, damn it, man, it's a Wu-Tang song. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Like, really? You got to be reminded of that? You want to put something else? Why would you put something else in front of that if you already know that's the case? And if you got to tell somebody how much they did, if you got to keep telling a person, hey, I did this for you, and I did that for you. I did all these things for you. And they don't want to be with you, guess what? You ain't do what they wanted. That's how it works. So the Democratic Party has a real problem with understanding what people want. Because they're talking about chips and they're talking about battery charging stations for electric cars. Meanwhile, we got people who have cars at home that run on gas who need new tires. Think about it. He spent, I don't know how many billions of dollars for electric charge stations and bragged about it. And Representative Crockett bragged, and Rowland bragged, and Bakari Sellers bragged, and Van Jones bragged. All of them bragged, and Rachel Maddow and Anderson. Everybody bragged about this, what all the infrastructure. Folks, do you have an electric car? Most Americans don't. So who benefited from that shit? Just asking. So you bragging about doing something that don't impact our lives. Okay. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button, fam. All right. Here we go. Now, I've been listening to this guy try to talk to the Democrats like he's having to debate them. And typically this doesn't go well when you're on like CNN or MSNBC and you're the conservative or the libertarian or the Republican or whatever, and you're up against corporate Democrats. They make, they just jump on you. They tag team and beat the brakes off you. But they're not able to do that with this guy. This guy has a way of speaking truth to power because he's right. Check this out.
Second, the fact that he got to this first and the fact that she is going to have, influence over how the rest of this transition unfolds, whether it's picking attorney general or any of these other high-level positions. I think we ought to all look at this as a wise decision, a good decision, and for everybody out there wanting Trump to pivot or change or somehow whatever you want him to do, he just won a mandate from the American people to execute on the program that he laid out in this election. It wasn't particularly close. And I think he ought to put people in place who are going to do it. That's what the people are asking for.
Who will go after his enemies? I mean, that's
not what he ran on.
Yes, he did. It is explicitly what he ran on.
That's not what he ran on.
Look at what he said in the past week. He literally said that he was going to exact vengeance.
You still don't understand how you lost. He ran on
Don't
immigration.
Say me. I'm not a Democrat.
He ran on immigration.
Good one. She says she's not a Democrat, but all she does is curry water for the Democratic Party. That's all she does every time she's on here. Folks, Trump talks for 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. He goes on a podcast for 3 hours. Him and J.D. Vance sat down on a podcast and talked for 3 hours. What they do is they take a soundbite from a 2-hour speech, a 3-hour conversation, and say, this is what he's going to do. No one cared, and they lost. They tried to trump up. They try to use things taken out of context or isolated comments with somebody doing what I'm doing, which is no script, talking, and make that the totality of what their plans are. When in fact, that's not what he ran on. He ran on immigration, shutting down the border, immigration, and ending the wars. He talked about ending wars a lot. Okay, and the tariffs. You talked about the tariffs. These are things you can say he ran on. You can't say he ran on going after his enemies and beating people up. He may have said you should get what's coming to you, but that was not the cornerstone of his campaign. So they're still trying to fearmonger and scare people, and it didn't work to win the election. And instead of doing any type of introspection, trying to figure anything out, they're just going right back to the same playbook. That's why I say, man, the Democratic Party, in my opinion, God bless, Senator Turner, Bernie Sanders are trying to do the good fight. I think it just needs to be broken up. That's what I think. It's too far gone. Like at some point, you got to say, hey, do not resuscitate. You had a good run.
He ran on inflation.
I'm not here paid
to
represent
one of the many things he ran on in addition to
he ran on the issues that people care about. He ran on the economy. He ran on
nobody's saying that he didn't run on those things, but he also ran on vengeance.
Yes.
He did all.
You ran, and Kamala ran on her mother and her, and this lady that lived down the block, who I don't know why I got to know about her. I should not have to know about this lady that worked to live down the block or whatever that watched her. I don't care. I know more about that story than I know about what she's going to do for my sister. What she's going to do for me and my grandkids. Why would I know that? Why would I know more about that? Why would that be it? So, this joy and hope and optimism, not rooted in anything. And by the way, I was very critical of Kamala's policies, even when she started talking about economics. What good, anybody who started a small business knows, getting a tax break later doesn't help you start a business. I'm just saying, I just will be upfront with you. If you just think about it, you need to buy groceries today. You need to make it today. You need to fund your household today. And they're saying, well, if you fund your household at the end of the year, we'll give you some tax deductions. How can you start funding a household today without help today? So some of her stuff just didn't make sense. I don't see how that will help a small business by giving them a tax break at the end. And when people question about the money you're going to give people to move into these houses, they say, well, the fact you're telling everybody that they're going to get money to move into the houses, everybody else say, well, just up the price of the houses. So now you just effectively increase the cost of moving into a house. And the fact you were going to get after people that just got here yesterday kind of left a little bad taste in people's mouths. Just a little bit. That new people coming to the country who haven't paid into our system will get $50,000. And you will be increasing, and the people that have been here paying into the system also could get $50,000. Why are they getting the same? Why are you doing this? I felt like she was trying to buy votes of immigrants. Trying to buy votes of immigrants, new arrivals. That's what it sounded like to me, because that's who I think it was most attractive to. But anyway, Scott Jennings does a hell of a job, even I wish I could be this detached from taking anything they say personal or serious.
Also run on going after the people who went after him.
And journalists.
It was a key feature of all of his speeches.
Yes, Scott, he literally said, I am your retribution, the Biden crime family, lock her up. Went after Sessions repeatedly for not doing what he wanted Sessions to do, which was to indict.
Here goes the thing, guys, and this is why Scott Jennings is a great guy, man, and I wish he could have tapped me in here. Wish he could have tapped me in on this, because I agree with most of what he says. when I cover his stuff. Hey, they've been talking smack about Trump for 10 years. For 10 years, they've been dragging this guy. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I roasted people. We grew up in the culture of roasting folks. You can roast somebody, sit on the stoop. We used to do that. We'd roast each other or have joning sessions, right? And every once in a while, somebody get too much and they go in the house, you know, because they just couldn't handle it. They were getting roasted till they cried or went in the house or whatever. But here's the thing. Trump never cried or went in the house. And what he did was he won the election in 2016. I didn't see him retribute. Yeah, like Joy Reid's been talking smack about Trump since 2015. And when he had a chance to retribute her, she was talking crap about him while he was in the White House. Did he retribute her? What happened? What happened to all these people who have been making up stuff like the Charlottesville lie, all the BS that they've been telling that's been debunked, that they still tell to this day? Those people still have jobs. And they've had jobs doing it throughout his administration. Jamel Hill, April Ryan, Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow made a big thing about these taxes. She did a show for a month about taxes. At the end of the day, it was a nothing burger. Rachel Maddow is one of the richest women in media. Did she lose her job? See, they are saying basically what the Democratic Party does is they point fingers at you and accuse you of doing what they would do. They accuse you of doing the thing they're already doing. Yeah, it's the Democrats that cancel people out of jobs. That's who does this. When was the last time you heard somebody getting canceled? They try to cancel Dave Chappelle for jokes. Where's the equivalent? Now, I did hear them one time get pissed off with Miller, or what was it, Course, about the girl on TikTok. I thought that was goofy. But she didn't lose a job. They just boycotted the company. Anyway, the point is this. Trump did not seek retribution from all the people on CBS or ABC or NBC or MSNBC or CNN who've been talking crap all this time. But now all of a sudden, he's going to turn into he's going to run through like a bull in a china shop and destroy every corporate media person who's had a smart thing to say. I don't think so, Johnson. I think we got bigger fish to fry. But if he did, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Nah, I wouldn't have a problem with it because I'm tired of you. I want The View to go away. I want Joy Reid to have several seats. I got no problem if I wake up and Rachel Maddow doesn't have a job. She good. She got millions of dollars sucked away. Yeah, because they've been lying and gaslighting everyone for years, almost a decade of lies. If they got their comeuppance, I would not be upset. Yeah, I'm just going to say it, man. If Anderson Cooper lost a gig, if Gloria Vanderbilt's son, the CIA guy, I don't know if that's true, but it seems like something's going on. These highly connected elitist Democrat shills, if they lost their gravy train, I would not be upset. It's the working stiffs. It's the working people. It's the hurting class. Shout out to Reset Race. It's the hurting class, the working class, the struggle class. It's the barely getting past. It's the barely making ends meet. It's the 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. The ones who can't afford a $500 emergency would have to start thinking about, well, maybe I could pawn this phone. Maybe I could pawn this glass. Who are wondering if they could get to work next week. Thinking they might have to call in sick. You think Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid or whoever this guy or Abby Phillip ever has to take a day off work because she can't afford to go? Or she's got nothing to wear? Or she had to wash her clothes out in the sink and dry by the fan or the heater? We got people that can't relate to that at all. dominating our airwaves, telling other people they're bad for being concerned about that condition that they live. And that's the difference. That's the difference. And then they look down their noses at us and tell us we're not worthy, we're not good enough. Because we're not thinking about others. We're not thinking enough about others. They ain't thinking about us, but we're not thinking about others, so we're bad. And look, not to nothing from nothing lead nothing, right? But one of the reasons why the Democratic Party lost, and I'm gonna put this out here, is that they were so interested in getting a bunch of hacks. They used to be friends of Trump who were willing to stab him in the back and go after him. They put them people on Front Street. They propped these people up and listened to them because they thought they were going to have a bunch of sway on the election. Yeah, like that guy, Michael Cohen. Everywhere I looked, I saw Michael Cohen. Why? What is this guy? What is this goofy knockoff Tony Soprano got to do with anything? What? He got out of prison and wrote a book. Best thing that ever happened to him was beating Donald Trump. Okay? Scaramucci, this guy, he worked for Trump for 2 seconds. He's been talking about him for 8 years. How could you work for a guy for 2 seconds in 2017 and build a career talking about him for the next 8 years? 7 years. Here he is talking about it, and thank God somebody makes some answer for it. This right here is classic. You don't know who he is, you'll know what he is when you see him.
Come on, Joe. You have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen. But aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed or at least humbled about how wrong you were about the feeling of most Americans, let me finish, and for enthusiastically supporting a candidate who a majority of people thought had no business being anywhere near the Oval Office? And you're a Republican, and you saw all the different policies that she was talking about are anathema to what you thought your whole life, and yet you went along with it. Do you ever eat any crow, or not even a little crow wing, really like a little capon? Or you just, I mean, Michael Avenatti could still be on TV trashing Trump. You'll always find a place on TV. If he wasn't in prison, he'd still be on CNN running for president with Brian Stelter. Just give me a little bit, Anthony, about how wrong you were.
Joe, first of all, I immediately put out a congratulatory tweet. They won, we lost, and the immortal word.
You went on every channel that would take you and said, I know things about Trump. He's a horrible person. Let me tell you about him. You had nothing else to add in any conversation. You've been doing that relentlessly for 7 years. You even were doing it to prop up Kamala Harris, who you have nothing in common with ideology-wise. You don't support her policies. You're diametrically opposed to her. You were a guy with a big money guy with, who believed in all this Wall Street stuff, but now you are a Kamala supporter. You didn't believe in her, you never did. A lot of them are that way. A lot of these reformed ass kissers. Liz Cheney, Liz Cheney's amazing. Liz Cheney's a war hawk, wants to blow up the planet. These people are scumbags. Okay, but the Democrats prop these people up thinking it would help them. So they have no ethics. The people that they propped up had no ethics. And at the end of the day, those people were not influential with voters. Nobody. Where's the Liz Cheney bump? Where's the Scaramucci bump? And what's he say? What's your response to, why did you work with Trump once he fired you? Then you go on all these programs for years and years trashing him. Now you said he should never be elected. He won't be elected. He's a horrible person. Then he gets elected, and now here you go. And your only response is, well, I admitted I was wrong in the tweet. These people have no ethics. They have no code. No code at all.
of Barry Diller when he lost a Paramount deal next year. What would you like me to do? Do you want me to get on bended knee before you?
No, I thought you were going to start that it's going to
That's not even what America is about, Joe. We have a violent disagreement about lots of things related to Trump's personality. You like Trump. I was up close to Trump. I got to see the ugliest of what he is. And by the way, Joe, it's not just me.
Why didn't you quit? Why didn't you just quit? You know, I've worked places I had to quit. Any place I worked at that I stayed at till they fired me, it must not have been that bad or I wouldn't have stayed. Then, finito, gonzo, that's it. You a hack. You a guy that wanted to pick up money. You wanted to stay coming on TV. The only vehicle for you to stay relevant was talking about Trump. And it ain't all your fault. It's really not all his fault, guys. But here's the situation. They call you up. They say, hey, we want you to come be a part of this segment on CNN, whatever it is. You say, great, I got these things. I'm thinking about this. They say, no, why don't you talk about Trump? Oh, well, you know, I've been talking about him so much, I just don't know if I got anything else to add. Okay, well, you know, it's good. You know, let us know when you do. Well, you don't want me to come in? No, I don't. Well, I'm sure I could come up with something. That's the story. See, you had no value to them unless you were going to take a dump on Trump. You had no value. Your relevancy was tied to Trump. In fact, and I heard Trump say, hey, he don't even hold that against people because he understands how the game is played. I don't know if I agree or if I believe that's how he feels because he's a human being. If you've ever been stabbed in the back by people that you helped at some point, you would understand. But this is what the Democratic Party propped up and what they ran, or this is what they did on a constant basis, and it was unhelpful. It did not help them. And actually, it did help the Republicans. That's who it helped. It helped Republicans when you did dirty, underhanded stuff like this. He's not by himself, though. He's not by himself. At the end of the day, folks, I want you to also understand that what's going on with our politics, it's very personal for these people. These people are really concerned about their own lives, way more than they're concerned about you. That's the harsh reality of it, you know? I'm concerned with my viewers. I'm concerned what's important to us. I want to build a community of people that we care about each other, that we can come together and help one another when times get tough. Like, I want to build something that's real, you know? But these political parties, these political operatives, this is their careers. That's what they are on. They'll do anything this is their job. You got a job. What do? You try to keep your job. And what else you do? You start looking for other jobs and better jobs and promotions. And that's all it's been about for these people. Listen to this. Listen to what the Kamala Harris campaign, the team of Kamala, listen to what's concerning them right now. What's most important?
Staff. I am told that there was a Harris campaign staff call held yesterday evening, and that leaders on the call had one specific request that they wanted to make to the staff, and that was to avoid criticizing the campaign and its strategy to members of the media. Essentially, their message was, this doesn't really help the situation at all. This is how one source who was on the call described the gist of what top officials on the call said to staff. They said everyone was like, this sucks, losing sucks. There's something bigger that happened than the campaign, and everyone worked really hard, and everyone's proud of them, and basically stop shitting on the campaign to the press. Now,
see, that's what's most important to them. Don't dog us. We're just a campaign. Don't give us a hard time. Don't shit on us. You're being mean to us. We got jobs to do. We just did our jobs. Are they upset about Hitler going into office? Yeah. Are they upset that Hitler's now taking a place? That, the Mussolini is in charge? Is that what they're on? Are they talking about that? Or are they concerned about the fact they lost? Which means they don't get to stay in D.C. and continue to make money with the Harris campaign. That's $20 million in debt, by the way. Yeah, they all make lots of money. This is a hustle. It's a hustle. You think they're upset that you're now in the hands of Trump because Trump is so evil? They spent all this time demonizing Trump when he wins. Now they just don't want to be demonized themselves. Should they be afraid, frightened for us? Because now the world's about to end because of Trump, right? We got people on TikTok, we got young people on TikTok who probably have never been through a political season. They actually believe when people say stuff like, this is the most important election of our lifetimes. They have no context. They don't know any better. When you tell them the sky is falling, they think it is. When Rachel Maddow got up there and lied, and when Joy Reid lied and said, oh, everybody hates women. No, they don't. We love women. I love women. I came from a woman. I love women. I love my wife. I love my daughter. I love my mom. I love women. I've supported other women. Just not Kamala. Just not Kamala. Kamala is not all women. But they've been feeding this thing, telling people this stuff. And people have been buying it. These young people are buying it. They're hurting. They're afraid. They're angry. They're lashing out because of the liars who put the narratives out and did this to them. And at the end of the day, those people that put out the narratives are not lashing out anymore because it was business as usual. It's just part of the game. Now, it's time for them to go get other jobs and chill. Go jump on someone else's campaign. You would think they'd be busy trying to craft something because, Trump is so evil. No, they're not. They're worried about themselves because there was never really anything to worry about. Goofy. It's all a game for them. I mean, what else did you need to know? He's already been president before. He wasn't even an unknown entity. Wasn't like, oh no, the great beyond, what could he possibly do? Who knows? What could you imagine the worst person could do in the world if they were given power? But you're not even operating from that perspective because he was president just 4 years ago. He didn't get kidnapped by aliens and have a chip put in his back. Comes back to destroy. He's not Thanos. But this is what they've been selling. And at the end of the day, what's most important to them?
I am also told that the senior campaign officials on this call promise the staff that they're going to do everything that they can to help them find jobs. Obviously, a very new reality for everyone on this campaign.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that the same people that wanted you to worry about all types of other types of shit, their chief concern is their job? Isn't that beautiful? They wouldn't make their campaign focus on your job or your economics. I mean, at the end, she said, economic opportunity, and threw that shit against the wall. Economic opportunity, yeah. Did that stick? These people keep talking about economic opportunity. I just want to make everyone feel good and just be happy, enjoy, and optimism. I can wait with the happy, happy, happy. But see, when it comes down to the real lives, jobs matter. Economics all of a sudden matter. All of a sudden, we ain't talking about joy. Oh. What you got on my 40, homie? Hey, I'm gonna need a reference. Somebody, can they call you? Can I have people call you? Hey, can remember me? Could I put you down? Could you write a letter of recommendation for me, please? Yeah, now all of a sudden they're in the real world now. Oh yeah, this stuff matters. You know what? The rest of us have been in the real world the whole time. The whole time. That's what you got to pay attention, man, and recognize evil lurks. Recognize when you've been fooled so you can't be fooled again. Recognize the gaslighters amongst us, that they've been gaslighting us. They're worried about their economics. They weren't worried about yours. Never fault a person. You should never fault a person in this world who's concerned about feeding their families. Not in a country like ours. And if you are black in this country, we are 40% of the homeless. We're 40% of the homeless in California, in a state where we only make up about 6% of the population. Do you understand what I'm saying? It may be less than that. We got priced out of California, and those that are left, the majority, almost half of them are homeless. All right. Is that it, guys? I think that's all I got for tonight. I think that's enough, frankly. I think I don't know if there's anything else to say. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section, fam. Bernie told the truth. Democrats are worried about everything except your wallet. And now, there's a price to pay for that. It's called being out of power. The question will be, will Trump focus on that? Will he take that mandate and go focus on those things? All right, my name is Tim Black. You can find me at timblacktv.com. You can email me at tim@timblacktv.com. You can complain at your mama's house at timblacktv.com. Also, we do this every day, 9:30 to 9 to 10 o'clock on Monday through Friday. Sunday through Friday. We take off Saturday, and we just tell the truth, man. That's it. That's all. Tell a friend about the show. If you want to become a member of the show, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. For only $5 a month, starting at only $5 a month, 1 cup of coffee a month. Become a paying member of the show. All right. Let's go to comments, man. Where my people at, man? I feel like I've been talking for 2 hours. That's because you have been, Tim Black. Revelator, hungry like the wolf pack. Yeah. Marty Ma says, unlike Obama, Trump is going to do the opposite and not placate people, would never vote for him, and do what his base elected him to do. And not ignore them. I can take Bernie seriously. They are spineless. He is spineless. He proved that. What he said is true, but what he does is not. I agree. And I also agree with what you said about Obama. We say Obama, he was all worried about trying to attract people that would never vote for his ass. Lame. Excellent point. The Revelator, it's Sonny's fault. Sonny's going to need a therapist, but that's not going to work. What she really needs is a straitjacket instead. Once again, very much insightful. Kirk, facts policy. Can the multiple people beyond yourself really see your vision and how you plan to impact people's lives? I'm with you on that, Tim. That's it. Thank you, Kirk. I appreciate y'all, man. It's been something else. Look, guys, thank you for the show tonight, being here for the show tonight. Share it with a friend. Tell people about the Tim Black Show. We do this all the time. Remember, like I always say, Don't let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. You should eat your own cornbread. Stop letting the elites eat your cornbread. Stop letting the rich, powerful people eat your cornbread. Stop letting the detached people eat their cornbread, they come eat yours. That's what they've been doing, man. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Buck, for doing what you do. I appreciate you. Smash that button, smash that button. Any excuse for not winning for good works in the vice presidency. Right. Good night, everybody. Take care. And yeah. Hit like on the way out, guys. I got nothing but love for you. I'll see you on the next one. And now I got to ask, as I always do, where are my girls?